Good morning, I'm Councillor Glen, and here's my update for Saturday, October 12th, Thanksgiving weekend. This morning I'm in front of Stittsville's newest pedestrian bridge. It connects over the Hazeldean Creek, I think it's the Hazeldean Creek, connecting from Baldcypress to Bliss, so connecting the Abbotsville crossing neighborhood to the Baldcypress neighborhood. A really useful crossing if you're on foot or on bike. Bliss connects to Mantra, which is the new street that they've built near Bradley Craig Farm across from the Value Village. So for Abbotsville crossing, some great access over to the shops on Hazeldean Road and Route 61. And for people in Bradley Commons, access over to parks and other amenities on the other side of the creek. So maybe a place to check out on your walk this holiday weekend. I wanted to start with a shout out to Oliver. I met Oliver and his parents at the Treat Accessibly Halloween event on Baywood Drive last weekend. What a great event. And his mom and dad said Oliver watches these updates every Saturday morning. So thank you very much, Oliver, for watching, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I also wanted to send out condolences. We had some sad news this week. Nancy Teron has passed away. Nancy is a business leader here in Stittsville, community leader. Many of you will know Nancy and Luke Therrien from Stittsville Glass and Signs. Sadly, Nancy has passed away after a long battle with cancer, and she will definitely be missed. And I just wanted to send condolences on behalf of the entire Stittsville community to Nancy's family and many friends here in Stittsville. Some updates from around the community and City Hall. We have a new transportation survey up on my website. If you go to glengower.ca/transportation, you could do that survey. Nearly 400 people have taken the survey, so thank you if you already have. If you haven't yet, go and do it. It's a survey to rank your priorities for major transportation corridors, and I'm going to use some of that information in your comments as I advocate through this year's budget process and then our transportation master plan over the next few months. Also on my website, if you check it out, we've summarized your ideas for Canadian Tire Centre when the Senators eventually move to LeBreton Flats. Some really great ideas, some fun ideas, some serious ideas, good stuff. On my website, we've got information about a rezoning proposal for 2 Pretty Street. This is the old Pretty Street Community Center at the corner of Pretty and Orville near Stittsville Main Street. And COVID-19 vaccines. As a reminder or an update from Ottawa Public Health that people who are at increased risk are eligible for the latest vaccine right now. And then October 28th, the general public will be eligible for the vaccine. You can go to the Ottawa Public Health website, ottawapublichealth.ca, to book an appointment or to get more information. And vaccines are available at pharmacies, your doctor. There's some local clinics as well. A great way to stay healthy over the fall and winter months. At City Hall this week, I haven't put this on my website yet. I'll probably write something this weekend because it's I don't know, annoying for me. Another decision by the province that I think really hurts the city. One of their most recent rounds of housing legislations, they changed the process for urban boundary expansion. The old process was every 10 years or so, the city would go through a detailed study and public engagement to make a very difficult decision about, first of all, whether or not the city should expand the suburbs, so urban expansion, and in Ottawa that means into rural areas. And if we do decide to expand, where should that be? And it's a really important question because if you expand, you have to plan your water and your sewer and your transportation, transit, roads, and everything else around that. And it can be expensive depending on where you go. It can be more expensive in one place than another. So what we would do is we would do a call for proposals from all landowners and then look at that holistically. Well, the province has changed the process so that instead of a regular review every decade or so, any landowner can submit a proposal at any time. So it's really a piecemeal approach to planning. It's going to be very expensive and time-consuming for the city. So this week, our planning committee approved a new process around that to at least cover the costs of the city and anyways, we'll see how it plays out. The legislation doesn't give a lot of details about how this process could work, and what I'm really concerned about is, these things are going to be appealed to the Ontario Land Tribunal, depending how the city deals with it, and ultimately, as we've seen in the past, usually municipalities lose out, and it's really not a good way to plan. Anyway, I'll write some more about this on my website and post it over the weekend. The other thing at City Hall that kept me busy was OC Transpo, as it always does. We got some encouraging numbers on September ridership. It has boosted up, which is great. In particular, we're seeing more adults on regular fares back to the system. We've had a ton of recovery for students already over the past couple of years, and people using the Equipass, but now we're seeing more regular adult fares. So that's probably obviously the return to office mandate. So about a 7 or 8% boost, it looks like. So we're tracking that. We'll have the full numbers in about a month's time. Trial running for the line 2 and 4 LRT to the south end is going really, really well. There's been 4 days of reporting, and they are exceeding the required rolling average of 98.5%, which is great. Basically, they need to be on time within 30 seconds for 98.5% of all of the scheduled departures along that train line. So it's a tolerance of error for about 5 late departures. If you have 5 or more late departures, they're not going to meet that average for the day. But it's going well so far, which is great. And if you're interested in that data, go to octranspo.com. The other update we had was around electric buses, and I'll try to distill what's going on here. So the entire transportation industry is switching from fossil fuels to alternative sources like electric battery is the most common one, right? It's happening with your private vehicles, it's happening with buses, it's happening with trains, happening everywhere. Transit agencies are trying to switch to that as well, and they're being incentivized through financial incentives and policy incentives by federal, provincial, and state governments to do so all across North America. So the industry is moving quickly. The challenge is the manufacturers are getting so much demand that they're having trouble keeping up, which is a big problem because OC Transpo needs to manage the fleet, make sure that they have buses that are in good condition and ready to go. So the updates we got at Transit Commission was our first order of buses. We were expecting, I believe it was 22 buses by the end of this year. We're only going to get 6 by the end of this year. The remaining 14 are going to come in the first 3 months of 2025. So a really slight delay, but we want to get those as soon as possible. We're still on track for the first order of buses, 350 buses, electric buses, by the end of 2027. That's still on track, so that's good. The other update is the industry isn't ready yet to deliver 60-foot high-capacity articulated buses that we need for our system. They're not ready for prime time. They don't meet our requirements, and there's not manufacturing capacity to build those buses. So we were hoping to procure some of those before the end of 2027. They're not going to be ready in time, so what OC Transpo is doing to mitigate is they are going to buy some diesel buses in the interim so that we're not left without enough vehicles to move people around our city. We'd all prefer to have electric buses, so not super happy about diesel. On the other hand, a bus full of 100 people is far more environmentally friendly than 100 people in single occupancy vehicles. So more to come on that, and there is some information on my website as well if you want to dive in. Okay, let's look ahead to events coming up. This morning I'm going to be participating in a check presentation. The Rotary Club here in Stittsville is donating some money to the Friends of Stitsville Wetlands, an excellent new organization, and we're doing it as a celebration of World Migratory Bird Day. You could join us if you want, 10:45 a.m. at the entrance to the Trans-Canada Trail on West Ridge. Gobblefest today, the art and vendor fair at Johnny Lou Arena has a Gobblefest, a turkey Thanksgiving theme. Tomorrow, the market at the barn finishes up their season on Sunday morning. Next Saturday, one of my favorite yearly events, 9 Run Run. It happens on Abbott Street near Stittsville, Maine, so be aware. Actually, there'll be some road closures and some disruptions there, but it's for a great cause, raising money for First Responders Foundation that focuses on the mental health of first responders. So 9-run next weekend. Super excited. We're still looking for Rink volunteers. Thank you to people who have contacted us. We've had lots of people step forward. That's great. We're looking for volunteers at all of the rinks in Stittsville, but in particular, Silas Bradley Park, Mary Durling Park, Mark Yakubuski Park, and Albert Argue Black Park. If you're interested, send me an email and we'll send you all the details. And finally, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great long weekend. I hope you have a great long weekend. I'll leave it there, and I'll talk to you next Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.